else to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
You know, I gotta be 100% honest. I didn't expect you guys to enjoy the Rating Your Fans graffiti videos as much as you do, so today we're doing the same thing. I asked you guys to submit over on Instagram, and you guys did exactly that. Not disappointing at all. You swamped me with a lot of stuff. This 20 right here is a complete and total lie, because as you can see, there's a lot more than 20 here. So we're gonna go through a bunch of these, opening them up, and I'm gonna give you guys a rating from 1 through 10 with a little bit of information sprinkled on top. That way I can go ahead and help you guys out. If you get a low number, do not take it too hard. We all start off there, and the whole point of graffiti is to learn your name over time with practice. So let's start off with the homie right here. If you guys don't follow him, you should follow him over on YouTube, because he's got absolutely dope pieces. I mean, look at this. I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10. The highlights are a little bit misplaced in many areas. When you're dealing with realism, this becomes a lot more of an issue. If the snake wasn't here, it wouldn't be nearly as big of an issue as it is, but because the snake demands realistic lighting, we then can easily contrast that against the lighting you have in your piece. Even if we take the snake out of the equation, you still want to pay very close attention to where your shadows and your highlights are, because you don't want them to contradict. We can see this here where you have strong specular highlights on the left side of the image, and then by the time we get over here, you're already having it on the right side of the image, as well as the left side, as we can see right there. This stays consistent on the other side of the piece as well, where you have it on the left as well as the right hand side, and then the shadows on the 3D contradict the very lighting that you have. That is something that you want to pay very close attention to, because it decreases the amount of depth you give your overall piece, and it's not as convincing as it possibly could have been. But otherwise, absolutely insane piece. I love this piece. Holy crap, this is dope. Just the lighting and the variation of shapes and depth and all that stuff, the contrast, the colors, all of it blends super well together. And this is an example of what happens when you have more accurate lighting. This is beautifully done. So I'll give this a good 9 out of 10 as well. Alex says this is just a ballpoint pen, and it's not bad. A simple basic straight letter, but the letter structures don't quite line up. Ballpoint pen or not, when your letter structures don't line up, they don't line up. We can see that here on the E especially. It's really the biggest offender of this. We see it kind of on the D, but it's a little less excusable on the E. But do keep that in mind, not bad at all. We'll give this a solid 6.5 out of 10. The hand style, we'll give that more like a 5.5 out of 10. Sesh, keep it simple, practice the basics. That's gonna be the advice for this one. It's gonna get a good 2 out of 10. And the same thing goes for the second sketch they sent here. You guys hear me say it enough here on the channel. I don't want to bore you guys who watch the videos all the time, but really, keeping it simple is how you get better. And until you keep it simple, you're not going to be able to harness style, because style is just the exaggeration of the fundamentals. So moving on to the next one, we got another keep it simple, practice the basics. Once again, same thing applies here. You're gonna want to keep it simple, practice the basics. You know reading isn't my strong. Stop, don't make fun of me. You delete that comment right now. This guy is doing a pretty good job keeping it simple, but you are gonna want to pull the letters further apart. You see how your A gets chopped off here by the B? It covers too much of the A, right? So let's give the A its space and kind of pull them away from the B a little bit. The B is invading personal boundaries, dude. But once you do that, you should be much better off. Now, you might notice if you were to literally do that with this exact sketch you have here, you might notice that the right side of your name doesn't really balance out with the O or the B. So you might want to increase the size of the O and the B just to kind of help things balance out, because your S is pretty large as well as the A and the R. Overall, not bad. We'll give this a good 3 out of 10. I love the idea for this. When I see graffiti artists taking graffiti and kind of put it out of its comfort zone, take it away from the average aesthetic it's always been, it's always really exciting. But we have to refine some of the fundamentals here, right? You're trying to mess with forms and values, and we need to refine those two fundamentals especially. That way you can render this the way you actually want to. The way the N interacts with this plate here is not really 100% accurate. It's not interacting with it in such a way where this being your N and this being the plate, it's not interacting in this kind of way. Instead, it's just like this. That's even reinforced by the fact that if we follow this line right here, it's pretty much the same line as this, meaning the N never actually slants or tilts. Not only that, the drop shadow, or in this case the cast shadow, doesn't actually meet with any of the vertex, or vertices rather, on the N, which further kind of detaches that illusion here. From there, we go into the forms where you have some overlaps here that don't quite make sense the way you rendered them. I have a feeling if you studied forms and value, you'll be able to pull this off in a much more convincing way. We'll give this a good 5 out of 10. Not bad at all. Very, very cool idea. Oh, all right. We got some more abstract stuff going on here. I like this. This is pretty dope. I personally love the contrast right in the center of the canvas. I'll give this a good 5 out of 10. And the fact that you have huge amounts of space with no detail at all, and then little tiny areas with a lot of detail takes away from the canvas. Having a focused focal point is extremely important, and doubling down on that is even more important. And when you add more details, you take away from what could have been the focal point. Oh, holy crap, Gork, dude, this is sick. I'm giving this a good 8 out of 10. I'm absolutely adoring the more kind of like a mech. Yeah, alright, look, that's a little bit of a weakness of mine. I like mechs. Mechs are cool, alright? I was a huge fan of Titanfall and Titanfall 2. I love that kind of aesthetic. I love the Transformers movies, even though they suck. I just like big robots, alright? You got a weak point here. Spec here, buddy. Alright. We're gonna give this a good 4 out of 10. Once again, when you're just new to graffiti, you really want to practice your shapes. You want to get used to doing nice, clean shapes that still are able to render the letter in a cohesive way, right? In a way that flows and also is balanced. So you have the S here, no real big problems there. You have the P here, which is really meek. It's really weak. It's really soft, right? Look at how a lot of its weight is kind of balanced at the bottom, but the top, the bowl, the focal point of the P, the part that is the actual letter's structure, is real soft and doesn't really have an imposing force. Contrast that against the S, which came previously, the A, which is really massive and bold, and then the K, which is pretty much the same. So I would say refine all your shapes, make them simpler, and don't make graffiti any harder than it needs to be for yourself. Here we have another keep it simple, practice the basics. Things like getting your letter structure to line up properly and be consistent with that is really the next step to take your work to the next level. So we'll give this a 3 out of 10. Whoa, some 2-point perspective graffiti. Okay, I like it. I love it. 2-point perspective graffiti is one of my favorites to do. 2-point perspective graffiti is an absolute blast, but it's no easy task because the stress that the 2 vanishing points put on the piece heavily distorts structure along with all of the other fundamentals. And if your perspective isn't really accurate, then you're going to run into a lot of issues and that are going to affect all of the other graffiti fundamentals as well. So for this reason, we're going to give this a good 4 out of 10. It's not a bad attempt at all, but you're going to need more values if you don't want to outline. And you're also going to want to be a little bit more accurate with your actual perspective as well. Look at this tag. How can I look at this and go, oh yeah, no, that's a 2 out of 10. Like this is clean. This is dope. You always have to consider when you're looking at things done in the streets, you always got to consider what could have been happening, right? So things like the R not being absolutely perfectly balanced is not something I'm going to comment on here because that's ridiculous to comment on if it's not in the book. So to have a piece this complex where you're defining letter structures even still is really good. The second E gets a little bit harder to see, but the R seems pretty clear where you got the bowl right here and then the leg that shoots over and around and, you know, a whole bunch of mess of stuff. Now a tip for wild styles, those of you more advanced graffiti artists who are doing more work like this, I think a useful tip is to differentiate your letter structure from your actual extensions. Now this is by no means a necessity, but it does offer you some versatility in your repertoire, right? So let's say you're doing a piece with thinner letters. Your extensions would then contrast that by getting thicker. So you kind of teach your viewer, this is the kind of width you'd expect for my letter structures, and then this is what you would expect for extensions. There's different ways in order to contrast. You don't have to do it just by size either. You can also do it by color, you can do it by value, you can do it by an infinite amount of ways pretty much, and I would highly recommend that. In this piece, we see that he starts off with the E being pretty thick, thicker than most of the boxes throughout the rest of the piece. And as a result, when he finally does the extensions and the extensions have the same width as the rest of the letters, you're able to easily tell the extensions from the E. However, he doesn't keep this consistent throughout the piece, and as a result, the other letters tend to be equally as large as the extensions, which means it's not following the same pattern that the E already established. That is a really minuscule thing though. I don't really want to take off points for that, so 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely love this piece. Wow, that's a colorful page, man. I opened this up and it really, like, it hits you with its saturation. I absolutely love it. The purple and green's gotta be my favorite one, just because of the color combo alone. So what are we looking at here? What are we looking at? It looks like we got a U, a Z, an I, an O, and an R. And you did a great job. All the letter structures are there, all the letter structures are clean, all the letter structures are nice and refined, the extensions come off of them beautifully, it flows, and it's just overall nice, clean fundamentals with a lot of style added to it. But the question is, do you have any contradicting highlights? That seems to be the theme of these videos. Let's go ahead and see real quick. I found it. The culprit, man. This is the culprit. You have, what is that? One contradicting highlight? I'm not gonna harp on you for that, man. It happens to the best of us. We're all human. Beautiful work. You know lighting. I don't think you got an issue with that at all. This is absolutely gorgeous. 9.5 out of 10. All three of them. All three of them 9.5 out of 10. I'm loving it. Dudes, that's gonna wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed this sort of thing, then feel free to give the video a like. Maybe share it with your homies, and maybe we'll do like a crew edition of this whole entire video idea. Maybe I'll rate your entire crew. And feel free to subscribe. We come out with these videos every single week, so you know you don't want to miss out on this sort of thing. We also have the best how to do graffiti tutorials anywhere online, and that's not me just, you know, saying it. You can literally check it out for yourself right up here. And then we got more graffiti content right down here. With that said, dudes, I gotta thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys back here next week.